site. Where are we? We're in East Sussex, Normanhurst Court Caravan and Motorhome Club site. Normanhurst Court, I believe that's what it's called. Yeah, nice site. Been here before years ago when we had a motorhome. Maybe now at least 10 years ago. I think it's changed a bit. Anyway, I'll do some more on that later. The purpose of this little segment is yesterday when we arrived, Mandy filled up the aqua roll, and I rather stupidly didn't close the drain plug. Schoolboy error. I've not done it for a while. So I hadn't realised for quite a while, and this morning we've now run out of water, so the aqua roll is empty. So what I'm planning to do is, because this caravan has an internal tank, which we've never used before, because of all this COVID stuff, what we're trying to do is use more of our on-site facilities. On-site, I mean use our caravan facilities, shower and stuff. So I'm going to use the internal tank as well as the aqua roll. Now, just been reading up on the manual. It's fairly straightforward. So basically, you fill up the aqua roll, which I've just done. Flick a switch, fill up the internal tank from the aqua roll. I can't say aqua roll. There's no point. So fill up the internal tank from there, and then fill up the aqua roll again. And basically, you've got, I don't know, say 80 litres of water, and you switch between the two tanks manually from the control panel up there, which I'll show you, I think. So anyway, so I've got the aqua roll attached. I've now got to find the switch to open the internal tank. Then I turn the pump on and it fills. Anyway, see how we get on after I've read the manual about 4 times. So of course the problem with all this kind of thing is that everything's under the seats, so I have to take off the covers, take off everything, and to access the underneath, which I'm going to do now. Cover me, I'm going in. So besides the nice little jigsaw puzzle there is this switch. Now the manual says fill up the aqua roll, locate the two-way valve, click it to the open position, which is, as the book says, there. There. Okay. Right, so that's that open. That's difficult. Right, next step, fairly straightforward. It says, where are we? It says switch on the 12-volt supply for the external pump on the mains control panel, and this will fill the onboard tank. So here we go. So I'll go over here quickly and show you just. So I've got to click that external, and that will fill the internal tank. There's noise. There's noise and hopefully no water. Right, so all I've got to do now is wait for the internal tank to fill up. Now apparently you go outside, and when you see the overflow going, that's when the tank's full. Really? Okay. This caravan, some aspects of caravanning really need to come into the 21st century. This is probably one of them. Oh, this should be automatic, shouldn't it? Right, so I think we've figured it out. I don't know that the manual is particularly helpful, but as always, resort to YouTube. So there's a connection here that the manual suggests it goes that way, but that way empties the tank. Not only that, but there's another. Oh, hang on, I think it's full up. The aqua roll will be empty. Right. So where the aqua roll comes in, over here, there's another switch. This was that way. I've had to turn it that way so that I think then it diverts water into the internal tank. Now, you could access this. You could access this lever here from this cupboard, obviously, to drain it. Which is all well and good. It really help when you're filling it up if you have to then access this bit here. So, bit naff, I think. I think I've actually just run the aqua up by filling the internal tank. That's the plan. Right, so as all of us keen caravanners will know, I've been overruled and Mandy needs the water on, so I've had to just stop what I was doing. Apparently, you need to wash every day. Anyway. So as I was saying, so I followed the manual, which didn't really help me. So basically there's two things to do. One is to basically flick the valve on the internal tank to not drain, obviously, and then flick another valve, which is to direct the aqua roll to fill the internal tank, which is pants. It does mean you have to take the seat up every time you want to fill up the internal tank. I'm not happy with that. If I could do it all by accessing that hatch there, that'd be great. But if every time I need to fill up the tank, I need to have all this up. Anyway, we're going to experiment with it. So at the moment, I've got to fill the aqua up again because I've emptied it by filling up the internal tank. I'm not even sure if it's actually full yet because I followed the manual. I drained half the tank that was already there. If you want to know anything about internal tanks, speak to me.
It's alright.
It's Caravan vlog.
This is quality caravan vlogging.